Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about loops. So let's get right into it. To begin coding with loops, you first have to actually understand what a loop is. A loop is basically an instruction that is given to your computer, which is repeated and repeated until the goal is finally reached. For example, let's say we had one apple and our goal was 50 apples. Now what I want you to do is add one apple until I get to 50. Now, imagine how long it would take for you to write apple is equal to apple plus 1 until you reach 50. That would take forever. And no, you can't just add 49 because I want to see a gradual change in how many apples there are. Before we get started with loops, let me show you how to create a new file so that you can save all your code without it being lost. First, open up your shell. Then, click Control N or just click File and then New File. Creating a new file is useful because once we close it, we can save it before and it will never be lost. However, if you write it in the shell, then if we closed it, you would see that all of your code has been lost. Alright, now let's get back to the question of starting with one apple and trying to get to 50. So, this is where a loop comes into play. The first loop that I'm going to teach you is called a while loop. A while loop is created by writing while our argument, and then a colon. I will come back to the argument part later because it'll make more sense when I do so. So, what are we trying to do? Well, we first have a variable called apple, which has how many apples? Just one. Remember, to set a variable's value, use an equal to sign and then put its value. So, what are we actually trying to do? We are trying to add 1 to our variable, apple, until we get to 50. So, if you remember from the previous videos, to change the value of a variable, we write the variable name, an equal to sign, and then our new value. Since we are increasing apple by 1, all we have to do is equal to apple plus 1. What this is basically saying is apple, or 1, is equal to the original value of apple plus 1. So it'll be 1 is equal to 1 plus 1. So now apple's value is now 2. If you think of it, apple's value keeps increasing. It starts at 1 and it goes 1 is equal to 1 plus 1. So 1 is equal to 2, like I said. So apple's value now is 2. Then it loops back around, and 2, or apple, is equal to 2 plus 1, which is 3. Then it loops again. 3 is equal to 3 plus 1, so on and so forth. But how do we actually get it to do it 50 times? Right now, we don't have anything in our argument or anything to just tell it to do it 50 times. This is where arguments come into play. We want our variable, apple, to keep increasing by 1 until it reaches the value 50. What we're trying to say is while apple is less than 50. Let me explain to you why. So, apple starts from the value of 1 and it keeps increasing by 1 after it keeps looping. Let's say apple's value finally gets to 49. So, 49 is equal to 49 plus 1, 50. Then it loops back here to the top and it says while apple is less than 50. Then Python checks is apple's value less than 50. So it becomes is 50 less than 50. And that's incorrect. 50 is actually equal to 50. So it'll now break. If we put print and write the value of apple, we'll see that apple's value is 50. So let's try running this program. All you have to do is click run and then run module, or just F5. Once you click this, it'll say source must be saved OK to save. And you click OK. You go save it wherever you wanted to save it. And then you give the file a name. and we'll just call this apples. So when we press save, you'll see that value of apple is now 50. The next loop I'm going to show you is if loops. If loops are a simple way that we can use to exit a loop or do a separate operation by itself. So let's say we have a variable called age. Age has a value of 10. My question is, if age is less than 5, then I want the shell to print you are too young. And if age is greater than or equal to 5, then the shell should print you are pretty old. In order to do this, we need to use an if loop. If loops are just like while loops, except instead of writing while, we'll write if. Then we'll have our argument, I'll leave it blank for now, and then our colon. Then we want our shell to print you are too young if our age is less than 5. So we'll just write print you are too young. And whatever we open, we have to close. So we put our close parentheses. So what is our argument going to be? Well, we're checking if age is less than 5. So all we have to do is write age less than 5. So it'll go through the code and it'll first see age is equal to 10. Then if age is less than 5, print you are too young. If you see, once we run this, nothing will happen because you have not set any condition for if age is greater than 5. However, if we change our value of age to, let's say, 3, and then we run it, then you will see that the shell will print you are too young because 3 is less than 5. The final thing to do is add an if loop to check if age is greater than or equal to 5. To do this, we'll write if age is greater than or equal to 5. You see that the argument is now different because we're checking if age is greater than or equal to 5, not less than 5. Now we'll write print, and what do we want to print? We want to print you are pretty old. Whenever we open, we have to close, so we put close quotations, close parentheses. Now, if we run this code by saving it and naming it, I'll just give it if loops as its name. Once we run this, it'll print you are too young because 3 is less than 5 and not greater than or equal to 5. We can also change this value to, let's say, 32, and once we run it, it'll print you are pretty old because 32 is greater than or equal to 5. Alright, now I'm going to show you what a for loop is, and this is going to be the final loop that I'm discussing. A for loop is also like a while loop, except the argument is much more precise. To write a for loop, you write for, and then you create a variable name. For now, I'll put the variable's name as I. Now, a for loop is used for counting, and when you're counting, you need a range of what number we're counting to. So we will write in range to show that we're counting from a range, and then we'll put a parentheses. So let's say we wanted to start from the number 1 and we wanted to end at the number 50. All we have to do is write 1 and then 50. You'll notice here that the for loop has two different arguments. One is the starting number and one is the ending number. Then we can put a colon, and then let's put a print statement so we can see how the value of I is changing. Let's now run this code. First, save it. Give it a name of for loops. When we run this code, you'll see that I starts with the value of 1, but it actually ends with the value of 49. This is because when you're working with for loops, the first number is inclusive, 1, but the second number, 50, is never inclusive. This is also the same for many other programming languages. So, to make sure that i's value is equal to 50 at the end, we'll change the second value to 51. So, when we run this, you'll see that it goes from 1 to 50. What if you wanted to skip count by 2? Well, this is where we can add a third argument to our for loop. We can do this by writing a comma and the number that we're skip counting by. So let's say we want to skip count by 2's. We can write 2 here. And when we run this, you'll see that i's value keeps skip counting by 2. Starts at 1, then 3, then 5, 7, 9, so on and so forth. All right. Remember the apples problem where we had one apple and we wanted to keep increasing it until we get to 50? Why don't we try doing this with a for loop? So let's delete all this and we'll create our variable apple and set it to have a value of 1. Then we'll put our for loop and we'll create a variable called I and then put in range. And where do we want our range to be? Well, if you remember, when we ran our previous program where we were printing the value of how I changes, I started at a value of 1 and we wanted it to end at 50. In this case, I also is equal to 1 and apple is also equal to 1. So we want it to end at 50. So we'll put 1 comma 51. Except when we run this, you'll see that apple's value is actually 51. If you remember, I is a new variable that we're creating. So when we're using a for loop with it, the second argument will not be included. In this case, apple is already 1, so we actually just want its second argument to be 50 because apple only needs to increase 49 times. So when we run this, you'll see apple is now 50. Today, you learn about 3 different types of loops: while loops, if loops, and for loops, and which ones to use in different situations. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I'll catch you in the next one where I'll be talking about modules.